Hi, Mark here. Friday, May the 1st. It's 7:50 a.m. Eastern, 11:50 a.m. GMT. US session about to get underway. Bear in mind with European markets pretty much all closed today because of Labor Day, other than London. I think the trading pattern will be a little bit different. Usually from 8 a.m. Eastern to 11 a.m. Eastern is the three, as I call them, power hours. The first 3 hours of the US session, last 3 hours of the European session. Because that's not the case today, behavior might be a little bit different. Let's have a look how the US dollar is behaving with the US session about to get underway. Continuation of what we saw yesterday which was a very strong sell-off in the US dollar, bearish engulfing candlestick, and continuing today. I've got resistance at 98.10. I've got support at 97.73. Tough support level. We'll see whether the sell-off continues and sellers can break below this level, or at least maintain at this level, or if US dollar buyers step in, bounce up off this level, and look back up to the 98 or higher. Let's have a look at the majors. Euro US dollar. There you see the bullish engulfing candlestick from yesterday in line with weak US dollar and continuing and playing out today. I've got support at 117.18. I've got resistance at 117.57. If we do see a continuation of dollar weakness and buying euro, selling US, buyers will be looking up at this resistance level and looking up to the 118 on the upside. If we get a turnaround from weak to strong US dollar, perhaps sellers step in at this resistance area and they'll be looking back down at the 117 or lower. Let's have a look at the pound against the US. Very similar pattern. There's the strong green candlestick from yesterday, buying pound, selling US dollar. That's in line with US dollar weakness yesterday, and continuing slightly today, a little higher, but pretty much hanging around where it closed yesterday. I've got support at 135.94. I've got resistance at 136.22. So buyers will look to maintain, break above the 136 level and look up at this resistance. Alternatively, if we do see US dollar fighting back, sellers will look down below 136, looking down at support and lower. You can see the EMAs have crossed to the upside. Let's have a look at the US against the yen, and this was really the big move yesterday, verbal intervention from the Bank of Japan, and have a look at the result. You see the very strong sell-off yesterday. Today, again, was a solid red candlestick. US dollar buyers trying to fight their way back, but you can see sitting right at yesterday's close for now. I've got support at 155.56. I've got resistance at 157.34. If we do see a continuation of dollar weakness, so selling US, buying yen, perhaps we do see this red candlestick again coming down to the one below 156, 155 and a half support level. Alternatively, if US dollars can and do fight back, up here they'll be looking at the resistance 157.33. US dollar against the Canadian. There's the strong move lower yesterday, selling US dollar, buying Canadian. We've seen strong Canadian testing the support level since February, hasn't been able to break below as yet. We'll see whether sellers can break below the 135.61, the current support level. I've got resistance at 135.87. If US dollar buyers do step in, that's the level they'll be looking to recoup some of these losses. If we see a continuation of dollar weakness and Canadian strength, hang around this level, maintain at this level, perhaps, like I said, even try push lower. This Canadian strength and is certainly US dollar weakness, Canadian strength. The trend is maintaining, and this Canadian strength, which has been in place since the beginning of April, certainly is being aided by or contributing the high price of oil certainly does play into the hands of strong Canadian dollar and looking strong again this morning. We've got our resistance support levels all being tested right now because of the extreme sell-off and the extreme US dollar weakness. We'll see whether that can be maintained, perhaps US dollar even weaker and the selling continues today, or if US dollar does bounce back today, we'll look at the relevant levels which we've just gone through on the chart. Good trading, keep that discipline again, and I'll see you at the end of day.